Hi guys, just going to quickly show you how to transfer calls on these new phones. So, if I pick up this phone, which is marketing, and I'm going to use this phone to call marketing, I'm going to answer, and now I want to transfer this call over to sales. So I'm going to push the transfer button down here, and then I can type in 223 for sales, or I can select it from the list. 223, and transfer up here. And now this call is going to be ringing. All right, doing it with the answer. The other way, transfer. You can select from the list and just transfer it over to, for example, Karen. And in this way, the difference, what's going to happen here is you have an opportunity to, whoops. Which one's ringing? Oh, that's Karen's phone. Okay. With this method, you have an option to talk to Karen for a quick second, tell her who's on the phone. It tells you that you're holding the other call, and then complete the transfer by pressing transfer here after you've had a chance to have a brief consult with Karen. Hit that. Now the call is moved over to this phone after you've introduced the call. So those are the two ways to transfer calls over on these phones. Hi there. One of the other things I wanted to show you is how to move a call from the desk phone to the cordless phone that has the same extension as the desk phone. Because these phones are both extension 221, transferring calls from here to here works a little bit differently. So what I'm going to do is when I call, I'm going to call this phone, and then I'm going to pick it up on this phone, and then I'm going to move it from this phone to this phone, which is the same extension. So I'm calling the phone. All right, so I've answered it on the desk phone, and now I want to transfer it to this phone, which is also 221. So I'm going to push transfer, 221, and then the transfer again. Now it actually moves it to the cordless phone. And you can kind of do the same thing again by doing transfer, 221, transfer, and it will move it back. It'll move it back to the desk phone. Okay, on this exercise, I'm going to show you how to transfer calls to outside numbers that could be, let's, for example, cell phone numbers. So I'm going to give Karen a call. And now I'm going to take this call and I'm going to go transfer. Then I'm going to go to my directory. Choose directory. And then this directory here, LDAP, this is the one you select. And now it'll bring up a directory of all the shared phone book that we have on the server. So from here, you can actually choose one of your agents on the list. There's Susan, for example. There's Trish. And if I click the transfer button up here, then it will take this call and move it to their cell phone. So if this is too many steps, you can also just go ahead and type their extension number directly on this list. So you'd have to, of course, know who, the extension numbers. 226 is Susan, 227 is Trish. And if you just go ahead and type that in here and hit transfer, it will go to that person. What I want to show you now is what these parking spot buttons do on the phone. So parking spots are good if you're moving a call to another phone, but you want that person to be on hold for a few minutes until the other phone can be answered. So unlike a transfer where when you're transferring a call, the person has to be available right away to answer the call. Here's the scenario. I'm going to call in to the reception phone. I'm going to answer it, and let's suppose this person wants to speak to somebody from sales, but the person from sales isn't ready to take the call, but will be in about a minute or two. So we'll just take one of these parking spots that are available and we'll click it. What's happened now is this light is flashing to let you know that the call is being held in parking spot 1. To retrieve that call, you can push this button again, and it will take that person off hold, and you can talk to them again. But you can also go to any other phone as part of your system and dial 201, which is the parking spot listed here on the screen. By calling 201, you're going to be taking that call off the parking spot and now talking to them. So we can see that the light has now stopped flashing red because the call is no longer on hold. Likewise, the same thing, we could transfer this person back into the parking spot by typing transfer 201, transfer. And now it's no longer on the cordless phone, and they've been put back into this parking spot. We could go to another phone, and we could dial 201, which is that parking spot, and we could retrieve that person off off of hold. So it's like a hold that's used to move calls between phones, a shared hold. Some of the other features you can get to on the phone is by pushing this button on the bottom right. So when we're on this screen, we can see all our extensions in the building are here, extensions in the parking spots. This is kind of like a more button because there's more stuff on the next page of the screen. So when I click this, it flips the screen into more options. These three down here, basically, they're intercoms. So by pushing any of these phones, you can actually announce to somebody that they've got a phone call. It'll announce it through the speaker of the phone. So for example, if I want to make an announcement to sales, I just push this one. And I can begin talking immediately, and it's automatically taken the phone off hook to make the announcement. And then it automatically hangs up the phone when you disconnect. So you can use that to basically make pages to these phones. To make a page to every single phone in the system, not just one in particular, you can use this button over here, which is a paging for everything. So by pushing this, I'll be saying a message. It won't play it back right away. When you hang up the message, that's when it broadcasts the page. So for example, this is a test page. This is a test page. So it automatically sends that message out to every single phone after you're done recording the message. Lastly, there's these other ones up here, Do Not Disturb and Night Service. So what Do Not Disturb will do is it will take all the phones in the entire system and send everything that if anybody calls, it goes to voicemail. So if there's some emergency or staff meeting or reason that you need to shut down the office for a few minutes, you can push this Do Not Disturb. What you'll notice on the screens here is that all the lights on all the extensions will begin flashing red. It's doing that just to let you know that everything is now kind of offline. Everybody's going to go to voicemail. And to disable that and put yourself back in service, just push the Do Not Disturb again. There we go. Now the lights will go back to green to let you know that calls will be received. Now, in the evening, if you want to enable the auto attendant system, which will then go into the automated menu where people can select dial by name or select people by extension. We'll customize that auto attendant together later. You can enable night service. So what night service does is it will now send all calls to the auto attendant.
Night service activated.
What happens now is this light is just red to remind you in the morning when you come in that the system was put on night service. So the phones will not ring right away when somebody calls. They're going to go to the auto attendant. All we have to do is turn that off.
Night service deactivated.
And now calls will ring through as normal and only go to the auto attendant in the event that you don't answer the phone within, have it set to 40 seconds. All right, lastly is our conference room feature. So conference room feature is that if you want to have a bunch of people together, it's an extension called 333. So from any phone, you can transfer somebody into 333 or dial 333 and you'll enter into the conference room. So from this phone, for example, I can push this button.
Welcome to the conference server. You are now entering the conference. You are the first participant in the conference. Please hold the line.
So as the first person, you'll just be listening to music. I'll just do that so it's quieter, until other people join in on the conference. So from another phone, you can dial 333.
Welcome to the conference server. You are now entering the conference. There is one more participant in the conference.
And now it's actually started the conference and joined in. So if there are other people that call in, or let's say a customer has called in, they can be transferred into 333, just like an extension, or from the auto attendant, they can also select 333 and they can join in on your conference. When everybody's hung up, the last person that ends up hanging up the conference, you'll see the light will go off and the conference room door is closed. And now the conference is ended.